New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. And hello again, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you here on a Friday evening. It's 5 o'clock on the Mountain Time Zone, and that means it is time for the good news. Our weekly look at some of the good news stories that have found their way across my desk, or that I went looking for, and that I think you'll find inspiring. Some stories that we've been following for a while, and some stories that are new to us. And we get a lot of our stories over at thegoodnewsnetwork.org. Be sure to drop over there, give those folks some love and attention that they deserve. They do a great job of finding these stories, and we're here to help report them and share those with you as well. So let's get into it. First up this evening, the salmon have returned for upriver. Now, this is a story we've been following and reported on it just less than a couple of months ago. The last of the dams were removed on the Klamath River. There were 4 dams that were operated by the electric company there and Pacific Corp. And the fish have returned, not only returned, but seeing one of the chairman of the Yurok tribe, the leader of the tribe there, Joseph James, said, seeing salmon spawning above the former dam fills my heart. Our salmon are coming home. The Klamath Basin tribes fought for decades to make this day a reality because our future generations deserve to inherit a healthier river from the headwaters to the sea. That's according to Joseph James. The Klamath is the 3rd largest salmon spawning habitat on the West Coast. The headwaters gathering force in the mountains of southern Oregon and then making their way 400 miles to the Pacific Ocean. This month, the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife recorded 115 spawning salmon arriving in just a single day in the waters at Spencer Creek above BC Doyle Dam. This is the highest of the dams that was removed. Good news, good news, good news when it comes to the salmon. There we are. All right. I love hearing these stories. And here's another one that we found. This one, we're going to get away from the wildlife a little bit and get into some construction news. In a public-private partnership, has paved a section of Minnesota road with an experimental low-carbon concrete mixture that resulted in greater strength and lesser cement use, saving money and carbon. This is another story we've reported on over the years here on the Good News. New ideas in how to move away from the heavy use of cement. Cement, whether it's in brick form or being used as pouring as roads or foundations, it has a huge carbon percentage, 6.6 tons of carbon per 1 ton of cement mixture. That's way too high. So the U.S. Carbon Upcycling Technologies, in collaboration with the Minnesota Department of Transportation, has completed a 3-year study in the use of a company's low-carbon cement in highways. The results highlight carbon upcycling's ability to be a drop-in solution for reducing carbon-intensive cement in concrete, saving money, and making stronger roads. The work in the study was carried out by Sutter Engineering and sponsored by the National Road Research Alliance. It rigorously tested 16 unique concrete mixtures in real-world conditions on Minnesota highways. Thank you, Minnesotans, for putting up with whatever you put up with to make this study happen. Overall, upcycling CO2 enhanced mix achieved a 12.5% reduction in cement content, while also matching the workability of traditional concrete, allowing for seamless handling, placement, and settling times for the construction crews. Good work happening in Minnesota with the concrete. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Folks, if you hear of a good news story that you think we should be covering here on Friday evenings, please send an email, goodnews@ntmedia.org. That's goodnews@ntmedia.org. We'd love to hear about the good news stories that you find out into the world. All right, back into it. Did you hear this story? I didn't hear this story. This is Congressman Andy Kim. He won his campaign for the U.S. Senate seat in New Jersey last week. And what I didn't know was that back on January 6, 2021, at around 1 a.m, as he was leaving the Capitol after what was obviously a very, very long day, he found trash laying around the Capitol building, got down on his hands and knees and began picking up trash, putting it into a bag. When he finally headed home later, he didn't realize that the photos had already started to go viral, and it kind of became Central New Jersey felt a heightened kind of patriotism with Mr. Kim, with Andy at the helm in leading them. So now he later donated the suit he was wearing to the Smithsonian Institute, which I did not know is collecting items from that day. Kim, raised by Korean immigrants in New Jersey, lives with his wife and 2 sons down the street from his childhood home. He's made history becoming the first Korean American to be elected to the U.S. Senate, and he beat his Republican opponent by a margin of 53 to 44%. Congratulations, Senator Kim, on a win, and a reminder that sometimes the good news happens in the most amazing ways, especially when we look at the world of selfless service. Thank you for that. Here's a story I found really interesting. It's about a man, Ben Berkeley. He's a freelance filmmaker living in England, and he lost his work due to 2020. And so this is a developing story over the last handful of years. And in August of 2020, his brother took over a farm that had an old beat-up, run-down, side-by-side trailer home on it. The boys began to get working on the opportunity to fix it up, and Ben Berkeley just realized that he had to do something. So he said, I had zero experience in building and DIY, but there was an opportunity to do it and to live into it. So I jumped in head first. He also said everything we learned was through YouTube. Congratulations. There's our plug for YouTube. He did end up spending about $13,000 US in his savings to finish the project, was able to complete everything except for the electrical and the plumbing. Always smart to hire a professional for electrical and plumbing. Saves you money in the long run. It's a 44-foot trailer by 10-foot wide. They even said they had to recreate one of the entire walls. Since moving into the cabin, Berkeley has taken the place off grid and heats the home with a wood stove, used bottled gas for his oven, and his electricity comes from solar panels on the farm. There we go. Good news. It is possible to go out and get and do some homesteading and be low maintenance in it all. Congratulations, Ben. Good for you, sir. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break, let a couple of our sponsors say hello, and learn a little bit more about New Thought Media Network. I'm going to get a sip of water, but we've got more good news stories coming up in just a moment. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button. Let your friends and family know what we're doing here on New Thought Media Network. We'll be right back after these messages.
You know, I've been thinking, this volunteer dinner deserves a standout video, something with real impact. But hiring a big production team for just one video? The cost would be huge.
I get it. But have you thought about New Thought Media Network? They do amazing work beyond just broadcast programming on YouTube. They actually specialize in high-quality, one-off productions for events like ours. And I heard they're super affordable.
Really? I didn't realize they did that. So they focus on quality without the premium price tag.
Exactly. Plus, Dr. Robert runs the whole thing, and he's all about making great media accessible. We could get the professional look we need without going overboard on costs.
His sounds perfect. Let's get in touch with Dr. Robert and see if they can work their magic for us.
Well, hello again, dear ones. Dr. Robert here from New Thought Media Network. We'd love to work with you on a custom video for your next event or project. From impactful storytelling to creating a unique avatar for your community or brand, we're here to bring your vision to life, affordably and professionally. Reach out and let's explore what we can create together. And we're back with more of the good news here on the New Thought Media Network. Thanks for joining us on a Friday evening, folks. I always love that you join us. And if you're watching it another time later on a rebroadcast, whenever is most convenient for you, thank you for watching. We really do appreciate your involvement in what we're doing here. And I trust you find good news that you can use and share with your friends and family throughout the weekend and into the week as well. All right, let's get back into it here. This is that segment of the stories, folks, where, boy, do we have, let's see if Robert's, how good Robert is at his medical terminology here. But I think these are important enough to see if we could do it. Researchers have developed an AI-powered model that can determine in 10 seconds during surgery if any part of a cancerous brain tumor that could be removed remains. Basically, a 10-second warning that says, hey, you missed something, doc. I love it. The technology is called fast glioma, and it outperformed conventional methods for identifying what remains of a tumor by a wide margin. This is according to a research team led by the University of Michigan and California in a paper that they have published. Fast glioma is an artificial intelligence-based diagnostic system that has the potential to change the field of neurosurgery by immediately improving comprehensive management of patients with diffuse gliomas. This is according to senior author Todd Holan, a neurosurgeon at University of Michigan Health. Quote, the technology works faster and more accurate than the current standard of care methods for tumor detection and could be generalized to other pediatric and adult brain tumor diagnoses. It could serve as a foundational model for guiding brain tumor surgery. Around New Thought, folks, we believe in the pill and the prayer. And if you've got something that works like this, oh my gosh, golly gee, let's get to it. The article is rather extensive and does continue. Fast glioma can detect residual tumor tissue without relying on time-consuming histology procedures and large labeled data sets in medical AI, which are scarce. We are going places, folks. I love it. Good news all around. And it's not just in AI, it's in more traditional medical discoveries. There's always the spiders and bugs and oh my, but it's the spiders and the bugs that bugs turn into drugs. Well, in this one, British researchers have discovered one of the secrets behind a traditional Chinese medicine is made from an orange caterpillar fungus, and they're touting its potential for combating cancer as well. The mechanism that triggers anti-inflammatory and other health benefits within the compound called cordyceps, I trust I got close, were not understood by Western medicine until recently. New research into the chemical produced by the caterpillar fungus has revealed how it interacts with genes to interrupt the very cell growth signals that drive uncontrolled cancer growth. Learning how it interrupts the cell growth signals that are overreacting in cancer is an important step towards developing new drugs that could be less damaging to healthy tissues compared to many available treatments. Scientists from the University of Nottingham School of Pharmacy have been studying how the parasitic fungi could affect a range of diseases and published their research recently in the journal FBSS Letters. The compound here that's produced by the fungus that injects caterpillars and is sold as a health supplement has shown promise as a cancer medicine in a range of studies, but until now it's been very unclear. It's been unclear how it works. We have been researching the effects of cordyceps on a range of diseases for a number of years. With each step, we get closer to understanding how it could be used as an effective treatment. That's according to researcher Dr. Cornelia DeMoore and the University School of Pharmacy, one of the leaders of the research. Good news happening in the world of medicine. And it would follow that we want to remember good exercise is good for the whole system as well. If we don't get sick, we don't need drugs or surgery. There's no doubt that exercise does the body good, strengthening muscles and bolstering our bones, blood vessels, and immune system. However, MIT engineers have found that it also has benefits at the level of the individual's neurons. They observed that when muscles contract during exercise, they release a soup of biochemical signals called myokines. We have reported on myokines in the past here on this program. In the presence of these muscle-generated signals, neurons grew 4 times faster compared to neurons that were not exposed to myokines. Well, now, now, while previous studies had indicated a potential biochemical link between muscle activity and nerve growth, this is the first to show that physical effects can be just as important, and the results shed light on the connection between muscles and nerves during exercise that could inform related therapies for repairing nerves as well. According to Rito Rahman, assistant professor of mechanical engineering at MIT, now that we know this muscle-nerve crosstalk exists, it can be useful for treating things like nerve injury where communication between nerve and muscle is cut off. He continued, maybe if we stimulate the muscle, we can encourage the nerve to heal and restore mobility to those who have lost it due to traumatic injury or neurodegenerative disease. Yes. Good news all around in the medicine world today. All right, one more break, folks. One more quick thank you to our sponsors and organizational donors, and we'll be back with our final segment, including this week's Hero of the Week, coming up right after this message. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more on New Thought Media Network. Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of our individual sponsors and organizational donors. We love and appreciate all that you do to help the finances flow and help us get this message out into the world in a powerful and impactful way. Again, we appreciate you. Thank you for being a part. If you'd like to learn more about how you can help financially support the New Thought Media Network, please do head on over to the website ntmedia.org. Click on that donate button, and the page will lead you through it all. All right, let's get back into it. We've got more, including our hero of the week. But first, let me introduce you to Scott Wardle. Scott's also known as the Pizza Pilot, as he recently was able to distribute about 30 pizzas to over 155 passengers on his flight. Scott said that after having 30 years as an Air Force and civilian pilot, he knows he had to do something when his United Airlines flight got stuck at a recent airport, had to turn back. The story began when the Boise-based Wardle was all set for a flight to Phoenix via Houston. However, about 45 minutes into the trip, he received a call from the flight crew that a patient had fallen unconscious. Now, there were 2 nurses and a medic on board. However, Wardle, as the captain, felt he couldn't take any chances and made an emergency landing at Albuquerque Airport at 11 p.m., just as the food court was shutting down. Hoping that he could get the passengers back underway as soon as possible, Wardle received the message that his cabin crew had maxed out their hours and it was going to be a while. Quick thinking and a quick idea to explore some options led him to calling the local pizza counter, where he ordered dozens of pizzas as they were taxiing towards the runway. I guess it doesn't say if he came all the way in, but the picture is of him and his passengers at the gate, him handing out pizzas. He made sure everybody had a slice, or perhaps 2 even, before he sat down and had a slice. If for those that are interested, United Airlines insisted and did reimburse him for the pizzas. I figured 30 pizzas, at least $20 a pop, maybe more. Thank you, Mr. Wardle, for opening your heart and opening your wallet, making sure people didn't go hungry. You know, folks, to me, that's what so much of all of this is about, is being together. And I love, this is a father and son story I just couldn't pass up. It all went down in Texas. It was Earl Guinness's 65th birthday, and he unexpectedly found himself on a car lot. And what was going on was his son had a pair of keys, told him they fit the ignition of a 67 Chevy Camaro that was on the lot. Well, it was a car that Earl knew very well, for he had sold that same model and year of a vehicle 40 years earlier in order to pay for diapers. Earl's an automotive worker and was working in parts as a 22-year-old in Mesquite. And as an employee one day, with a 67 Camaro that made an employee came in one day with a 67 Camaro that made Earl's eyes light up. It was loud and the kind of car that everyone had looking out of the corner of their eyes. He had a few good years with the Camaro, but after marrying his wife Mona and having their son Jared, he did what any responsible dad would do and traded on the dreams of his youth for the sake of the future. I used to tease Jared quite a bit that I used to have a car like that one over there, and he'd say, "Yeah, I let go of it for diaper money. You need diapers, and so that's what happens to that car." Jared joked that he never believed his father, but gradually the fixation on the Camaro he left behind rubbed off on his son, who came to know it better than his father did. It's the 67 Marine Blue Camaro SS with a 350 small block V8, an automatic 3-speed transmission, and Krager chrome 15-inch mag wheels, white lettering on the tires, a classic recreation of the 67 Camaro. Congratulations, father and son. What a great and heartwarming story. And if it doesn't get any more of that better, doesn't get any better, here comes a tearjerker of a story for you. A Cleveland clinic has released video of a woman reunited with a boy whose life she saved through organ donation. Becoming a living donor by giving up a piece of her liver, Sandy Flash, pictured here, gave the now 1-year-old Sonny the chance to recover from biliary artesia. The disease with an unknown cause, biliary artesia, is defined by the NIH or as a scarring of the bile duct. It's treatable with a surgery, and which by now has become so advanced with infants. Between 80 and 90% of infants diagnosed with the disease do survive into adulthood. However, it does require a piece of a donated liver, and that's where Flash came in. Her husband had been saved by liver donation in 2022 and inspired her to return the favor. She signed up for donor status and was immediately matched with young Sonny. Sandy gave a piece of herself to save my baby's life. And organ donation is truly an unconditional gift. Sonny's mother, Katie, was interviewed by Good Morning America and shared those words. Flash admitted that after bringing her own children into the world, it was the most fulfilling thing she ever did. The Cleveland Clinic said that Sonny had caught up to a normal developmental milestones by 1 year old, and it was a wonderful reunion for all. And it gets better, folks, because it's that time of the week. It's time for our hero of the week. There it is. In northern Saskatchewan province in Canada, a woman has been hailed as a hero for risking death in an icy river to save a child. Falling through the river ice while playing, a boy's friend rushed from the Sucker River Community Store, where Elaine Ratt was just clocking in for her shift for the day. Elaine is a member of the Lac La Ronge Band of Indians and was expecting a normal day, but she said as soon as she saw the child's face, she knew something was dreadfully amiss. Quote, "The fear in his eyes scared me." She began running towards the river, and as she arrived at the edge of the river, she called out repeatedly, but locating the boy with his head just above the water. Seconds later, she was inching herself along and listening to ice cracking beneath her. By the time I was getting toward him, he was already just starting to float down underneath the water, she told a local news affiliate. As soon as she got close enough to hopefully help the boy, the worst happened and the ice gave way beneath her, leaving them both treading in the frigid water. It wasn't long, however, before Elaine was able to get the boy to a patch of solid ice and hoisted him up. Even in his state of shock, he remembered to keep himself low and rolled up onto the ice, much like a seal would. Rat, however, was unable to pull herself out of the ice as it kept breaking away from the shore. However, eventually, in shock, she too was able to escape. So I carried him with all my soaking clothes and his soaking clothes. She said it was more of a reflex. I don't want to see this little boy down the river or something worse happening to him. So I would rather risk my life than his. Thank you, Elaine. At the community store, the first responders were there to rush the boy to the hospital. He eventually did regain a normal body temperature and survived without harm. Meanwhile, Rat went home, got a change of clothes, and came back to work. When she returned, the emergency crews were still there. And as she stepped out of her truck, those assembled erupted in applause of heroism, moving the Lac L'Orange member to tears. It brings tears to my eyes as well. Thank you, Elaine Rat, for being our hero of the week. And thank you all for being a part of what we're doing here on the New Thought Media Network. I've run a little overtime, so I'm going to get out of here for now, let you get into the rest of your evening. However, do come back just in half an hour, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. It's the Fireside Chat with Reverend Michael Mangus and guests. So plan to join us for that coming up in just a half an hour. Until next time, I want to wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.